Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. South Africa's impressive new mineral cadastre went live this week with more than 1,000 registrations recorded in the first 3 hours. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer is in the studio to tell us more. Welcome, Martin.
Thanks, Shannon.
Can you tell us what is so significant about this particular registration?
Yes, this cadastre or register of mining title has replaced a manual system, a single layer manual system with 726 layers of the new system. So people are not only going to get an idea of what is available to apply for, but they'll also transparently be able to see their application in progress and also see the granting of it, the issuing it, or the refusal of it, and the reason why there's been a refusal. So there's been a lot of problems within the department, a lot of court cases over delays, over duplication of rights. It's impossible for rights to duplicate here with the new system, and it's been a long time in coming. We're hoping it's a Rolls-Royce. We saw Mozambique, smaller countries, go electronic with their mining and minerals registered way ahead of us, also Namibia. But people are saying this is really, the Cadillac of systems, and hopefully it will be.
Now, over 1,000 entries were received within the first 3 hours. However, the comments on miningweekly.com express frustration at them not being able to get past the first step. What do you think the main problem is?
Well, firstly, you've got to register, and that has been a stumbling block. They won't allow you into the system until you register, and they give you, I think, a password, or they confirm your password. There is a telephone number that you can phone. It's a helpline. But the sheer volume, it was like an avalanche coming down of interest in this, because you can imagine in the world at the moment, there's such a demand for metals and minerals. And so the more you can get into the space early, because it's on a first come, first served basis, there is billions of rands of value in getting awards. And so there has been a big demand, to such an extent that I couldn't get in myself. So the jury is still out. And from my point of view, I haven't been back today on whether it is a very good system or not. And maybe it's still to be proven. But from all the comments and the smiles on the faces of the people at the Department of Minerals Resources, they see this as a management tool, you see. They've come in for a lot of flack, and it's been very difficult for them to deal with piles of paperwork. Now this is all electronic. You have to apply electronically. You can see what the conditions are. Those conditions don't change. So there's less discretion now. You don't go and sit opposite an official who might try and help you to bend the rules, or there's just very firm rules. You'll know whether you are correct or incorrect, or whether you've been adequate or inadequate virtually immediately. Even if you're sitting at your desk in New York, you can see what's going on.
What does the Minister hope to achieve with this register?
Well, we've missed the last boom, and we really are slow on the exploration front. So we've had a lot of prospecting rights issued, like 26,000 applications, and then having to go down to approving those through long delays. Some people have just given up in the meantime. Some of the people who have been awarded the rights, they can't even find them. They haven't paid for the prospecting rights. They haven't paid their dues. There are like 400 violators. There are about 700 transgressions of the environmental legislation. So a huge cleanup is needed, and this system is seen as the management tool, and something that is sustainable and will allow a greater tempo of exploration in this country, which has been so lacking, and that exploration can then turn into a positive mining operation, and from that mining operation you can create a lot of wealth, and you can create a lot of spin-off jobs and direct jobs.
Now, Mpumalanga is still under restrictions. Why is this, and when do they expect to lift the moratorium there?
Yeah, you've had this moratorium, 6-month moratorium, they said, and it's been dragging on. And when they got to the 8th month, they said, no, it's still got to stay in place for Mpumalanga because it's a mess. And, they have clandestinely gathered in certain areas in Mpumalanga. They will, I think, involve the media in time, and then had early morning raids on the offices of certain holders of prospecting and other rights, because these people have been transgressing and breaking the law left, right and centre, and they want to confront these people and inform them that their rights are being revoked. And then they will take those rights and they will offer them again in the government gazette notices for hopefully more deserving people to come forward and do something that's of benefit to South Africa. So we could see some more raids, and in Mpumalanga has been the mire that they can't seem to come right. They're hoping to bring it back online in September, but we've had the constant mantra of everything is fine, we're lifting the moratorium except for Mpumalanga, and then they gave it a few more months, and now we see it's stretching out to September, that in Mpumalanga the problem child is being dealt with.
Now, I just have one final question. You've mentioned that everything is now electronic.
Yes.
What happens if people go into the system and change the rights that have been awarded, like what happened with Cipro?
Well, I suppose that's something that they'd have to consider, that there could be people who actually have bad intentions and want to snarl up the system. Hopefully, whoever designed the system will make sure that it cannot be hacked. But who knows? We've seen some very good systems being hacked. We see our own company registers being hacked, companies hijacked. It's a huge concern. And also some officials who are less scrupulous than others seem to offer people's branding and identity to hijackers of companies. And you have to, now as a company owner, you have to keep checking, or get your auditors to keep checking, that your particular company registration is still intact.
Well, at least it's one up for transparency. Thank you, Martin.
Great pleasure, Shannon.
That's the show for today. Join us again next time for more news and insight into what's happening in the mining world.
For 30 years, Creamer Media's Engineering News has delivered unmatched insight into South Africa's real economy. Subscribe now and go to engineeringnews.co.za for the real economy in real time. Engineering News, not just for engineers.